Hey Queen, are you wondering how to effectively pitch to corporate clients? This is a question I get over and over and over. Like, what do I do to land corporate clients? What is it that I need to say? How do I make sure that my pitch is effective? So stay to the end of this video and I'll be sharing with you my proven steps that I leverage to help my clients consistently land 5- and 6-figure corporate clients. So let's talk about what a pitch is. If we look at the definition of a sales pitch, a pitch is a speech that is given to persuade someone to buy something. So let me just say this right here. People ask me all the time how to pitch corporate clients, and my answer is to not pitch them. I think pitching is ineffective. I do not think you should be pitching to land corporate clients. Here's what I think you should do instead. When we look at what executive buyers value, the number one thing they value is specialized expertise. They're looking for trusted advisors to help them with their most urgent, timely needs. They're looking for consultants who can help them navigate change management and help them to achieve their desired outcomes. They're looking for someone who understands their map of the world and the unique challenges of their organization and who will honor their culture and how they can help them create these outcomes within their culture and their existing corporate environment. And so when you're looking for how to land corporate clients, it's not about giving this generic pitch where you're talking about the features and benefits of your solutions. It's more about, how do I position myself as a trusted advisor? How do I show up with my specialized expertise? And how do I partner alongside of an organization to help them achieve their desired outcomes? We talk about the pitch, but how to effectively land corporate clients begins much earlier than the pitch. It starts with positioning. Positioning is how you communicate to the marketplace who you are, what you're uniquely qualified to create, the services that you deliver, who you work with, and an effective positioning strategy is also about who you're not, right? It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is not what we do. This is not our zone of genius, but this area over here is our zone of genius, our brilliance, and where we're taking a stand for in the marketplace. Because executive buyers are looking for specialized expertise, your positioning strategy is paramount. How people treat you during the sales process has a lot to do with how you're positioned. Let me give you an example of why this is important. If you're not positioned appropriately and you jump the gun to the pitch, then a buyer is going to treat you like a commodity because they don't know your unique perspective, they don't know your approach, they don't know that you have specialized expertise, they may not have heard about you from others. And so when there's nothing that differentiates you in the marketplace, a buyer defaults to price. For example, a grain of rice is a commodity, right? So if I go to the store and I'm just like, look, I don't know the difference between this bag of white rice and this bag of white rice, so I'm gonna look at the unit price and I'm going to make a buying decision off of price. That's what happens if you're not positioned appropriately. If you're not positioned appropriately and you try to pitch, then a buyer says, yeah, thank you for your pitch, and I'm gonna gather 3 other pitches, and I'm gonna look at all of these pitches, and because all of these service providers sound the same, I'm going to look at the line item and the pricing, and I'm going to make a buying decision purely off of price. And that's not the type of buyer that you want when you're positioned as a consultant and as an expert, because if they make a buying decision purely off of price and not off of your positioning, think about the type of relationship you're going to have with that type of buyer. They're not in an engagement with you because they're valuing your expertise. They're in an engagement with you because you were the best price, which then means when you're trying to help them navigate change, when you're trying to help them create their desired outcomes, they're not necessarily trusting the process with you. They're not listening to your advisement. And that's too often what I hear from consultants. I hear them say, we call them PITA clients, pain in the you-know-what clients. So when people talk about PITA clients or consultants talk about PITA clients, they say, oh my gosh, I have this client and they don't do anything I say. I'm advising them, they're going their own way. And then when they fall in mess, they're asking me to fix it. And they talk about really they're frustrated by clients who aren't who aren't heeding their advisement or who aren't heeding their advice. Again, that goes back to positioning. You don't want to be seen as just a commodity. So first is positioning, making sure that you are seen as a specialized expert, a trusted advisor, a consultative advisor in the marketplace. And then next after that is all about discovery. It's not about delivering this generic pitch, right? This persuasive speech. It's actually about this collaborative approach where you're really understanding the unique needs of your buyer, their status quo. When I talk about the status quo, I mean, what does business as usual look like for them? What is it that they're facing right now? What are the financial implications of them staying on the path that they're on? What are the emotional implications? So you want to understand for your ideal buyer or this prospective buyer, what is keeping them up late at night? What are their concerns? Are they concerned about their job? Are they concerned about cash flow? Are they concerned about the implications of not meeting this initiative? So you really want to understand the emotional impact and the financial impact of the status quo. Oftentimes when people talk about a pitch, they're looking at, oh my gosh, it's me and this other consultant pitching, and so I'm competing against this other consultant. And what I'll say is that in the consulting space, your greatest competitor is not the other service provider down the street. Your greatest competitor is the status quo, business as usual. It takes a lot to create change in an organization. There are behavioral changes, there are system changes, there's getting buy-in from other human beings, the team members in the organization. And so oftentimes we lose deals not to our competitor down the street, but to the status quo, business as usual, human beings not wanting to have to deal with change management. So you really want to be able to identify the emotional and financial implications of them staying on the path that they're on so that you can really agitate the status quo and put salt in that wound so that you can really paint a picture of why it is critical that they buy into some change, why they have to do something different. That's really critical and important. So during the discovery process, it's really understanding that status quo so that you can help them to buy into change in general. And then it's also really making it this collaborative process where you're asking open-ended questions and you are collaborating with them to design what the solution looks like. It's like coaching. When you're a great coach, it's not that I'm so brilliant that my ideas are better. It's, I know that you have the skill set. I know that you understand the situation possibly better than I do because you're in it. So how do I help pull out your best ideas? And how do I help add to your bandwidth? Because oftentimes when you're partnering with organizations, it's not that they don't know that they should be doing better. Sometimes it's they don't have the time or the bandwidth to spend time on solving the problem and then instituting change on the problem. So during discovery, you want to make sure you roll up your sleeves and collaborate with those potential buyers to identify what does the right solution look like. You want to consider their culture, what they've tried before. That way, when you finally get to the proposal, not the pitch, but when you finally get to the proposal, you are really showing your active listening. I have so many clients. There's a part of my proposal process. So I have this proprietary proposal process that my clients leverage to consistently close six-figure corporate deals. And what they say is what gets their clients every single time is this special section of the proposal process where they're literally just repeating everything that they've learned during the discovery process and they're checking for understanding. And they say more often than not, it is the presentation of what they've heard, their experience of the buyer, their understanding of the problem, their understanding of the organization that gets the buyer to say, yes, I don't know what you're proposing yet, but I know that you are the right one because you understand our problem better than anyone else. I had this one client years ago. And so when I presented this part of my proposal, he was like, how do I hire you internally? Because you have spent just a couple weeks of discovery with me and you understand my business better than people who have worked with me for years. That's a powerful statement. And here's where psychology helps with this. When someone believes that you understand the problem, naturally as human beings, our assumption is that you then are able to deliver the solution. So the better that you're able to articulate the problem, the more so that the buyer assumes that you then have the best solution. So it's all about activating your listening. There's Albert Einstein has a quote where he says, if I had 60 minutes to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and then 5 minutes on the solution. That is the key to pitching corporate clients. It's not about you presenting this out-of-the-box speech where you're talking about how great your features are of the solution that you offer. It's really collaborating with the buyer and spending most of your time listening, defining the problems that you hear, mirroring what you've understood, what you understand of their problems, checking for understanding, and then co-creating that solution with them. And even when you present the solution, you're presenting the solution in a way that's a partnership. Based off of what I heard, here's what I see as the path forward. Does this resonate with you? And even still, you might still have some push and pull, and you still might have to further tailor your solution once you finally present it to the buyer. That is the effective way to pitch corporate clients. I want to hear from you. What are your best practices for pitching corporate clients? If you're looking for more strategies, and I got a whole bag of them, to land 5- and 6-figure corporate clients, you can apply for our masterclass training at thebigmoneymovement.com. Or if you're just looking for language for how do I book meetings with executive buyers, go to corporateclientscripts.com. Now that you know how to pitch, let's talk about more strategies to land those corporate clients. Click the video right here. I'll see you then. This is LizJSimpson, founder of the Big Money Movement. And if you want to make big money moves together, just stay on this channel. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe. Signing off. Peace. You're going to binge anyway on YouTube. You might as well binge my channel and make some big money while you're at it.